Good morning and welcome to The Habit Architect. My name is Michael Cups. I'm your host today, and thank you for Time Bandit and Enterprise Diagnostics for the sponsorships of today's show. Really enjoy our guest today, but I want to kind of tie it into a conversation Flor and I had last week. We did the episode last week around AI readiness and things like that. And one of the things we talked about was a lot of fault that happens with companies is they just give everybody Claude or give everybody ChatGPT and say, now we're an AI company. And while some people are proficient at that and use it well, others probably don't know where to start. But really what happens then, when you think about maturity of a company and using AI, is you're looking for applications of AI that are really returning results. And Tim Hughes, who's going to join us today, had wrote a book on social selling and influence, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But equally, they've launched a product that is designed to be very helpful to sellers out there. And sellers, in a world of AI, it's so confusing because there's so many options, there's so many tools out there that you could use. And most importantly, you could use them very badly and it will affect your reputation. And we're going to talk a little bit about that with Tim too. And I just want to say, as Tim joins us, he also co-founded DLA Ignite, and we'll talk a lot about that. But go ahead and bring Tim on board. And I will say, go check out his book on Amazon, Social Selling and Influence. It's a fantastic read for all sellers. And I also want to say that Tim, when I published my book, he was the first to have me on the air with him to introduce it to the world. So I'm always appreciative of Tim. It's great to see you again. How are you today?
Hello, Cubs. I'm very well. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Always happy to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are a busy guy. You've got the books, you've got the company, and you've launched a new product. So tell us a little bit about how you got here, and then we'll dig into each of those details.
So my background is B2B sales. I worked at Oracle on and off for about 20 years, either working for the company or in their channel. So my background is new business, B2B, enterprise. That's what I know, and that's what I love, and that's what I generally talk about. So, 10 years ago, I published my first book on social selling. It was 10 years ago. And we set up our own company, DLA Ignite, and we've been training and coaching thousands of salespeople how to use social as a way to generate revenue, not by spamming people or anything like that, but actually by using it to get visibility, to build influence, and ultimately to get conversations, because anything in the B2B enterprise world requires you to have a conversation. So what we're trying to do is we're not selling over social. What we're doing is that we're selling like we normally do face to face, but we're using social as a mechanism to get those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big distinction too. I mean, what we're trying to do is have a conversation, and once you get to the conversation, then there's a natural thing that occurs, like, do they actually need what you sell, and vice versa. Is the buyer, they're obviously in a conversation to understand if they can trust you as well. And I think that's a big piece of the foundation of your model, is building authority or credibility and trust that leads to more B2B.
Yeah, so we have a definition of social selling, which is, I can never remember it, so I read it off using your presence and behavior on social media to build influence, make connections, grow relationship and trust, which leads to conversation and commercial interaction. And I think that if you dig into the way that people actually want to buy, then actually that's the way that they want to buy. And that's very different from, we sell a particular way that nobody likes, then buyers basically buy a particular way. And if we sold like that they bought, then maybe we sell more.
Yeah. So that's amazing. I've been in B2B tech for 25 years. And like you said, 10 years ago, you launched your first book. It's been, I was, when you said that, I was thinking, how long have I been using LinkedIn? A lot longer, but to think of it as a vehicle for building new relationships has come on the scene since you wrote that book. But now it's, like you said, it's spam. I mean, there is a large part of LinkedIn in particular that is overwhelmed with AI right now, I think. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. So I think what we've seen is that I've been saying that cold calling and spam email hasn't worked for 10 years. A lot of people disagree with me, but I was talking to an SDR leader the other day, And he said to me that they're getting now only 3% connection rate.
Wow.
So if that's connection, and probably most of those are going to voicemail, then it's just not happening. And you know as well as I do that your inbox fills up with absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
And I just create rules and get rid of it because nobody's interested in that stuff. So what happens is that people come to what I believe happens is that people think, oh, what we've got to do is we've got to interrupt people. So what we're now going to do is we're going to interrupt people on social. And they think that social selling is somehow coming to you and connecting to you and saying, here's a list of my products and services. It's like, well, I'm never going to buy from you because I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And it's like someone came to me and said, I can help you with your restaurant franchises. Like, what restaurant franchises? I don't have a restaurant, let alone a load of it's like, it's just spam. And I think we're all really tired of it. And I know that the organizations that are customers are, we've got people doing multi-million-dollar deals on LinkedIn. And it's like, why isn't everybody doing it?
Yeah. Well, I think you said that you don't sell anything on LinkedIn. You get an introduction and you have a conversation is where it happens. But I mean, so email, I agree with. Well, I didn't know the connection rate on cold calling, but email I think is just completely dead now. I've talked to a couple of people that are in this world, B2B tech world that so well as I think everybody's concluding that email's dead. But yet seems like there's more and more companies out there saying hire an AI SDR team that is all about that, right? And I mean, it's crazy that volume is not the answer. I think is what I'm trying to get to, and it's more about can you connect?
But it's that culture, isn't it? That of one more call or one more email is going to get us. Because 20 years ago, I phoned the CFO and it was 6:05, and I got through, and it's like, and we're living basically. There's this sort of debt that we're basically still living on. And it basically is in a situation where it just doesn't work anymore. And unfortunately, people have got to walk away from it, and it's really difficult for them.
Yeah, exactly. I over my career, I can remember that the epiphany was let's have a call blitz. Let's bring everybody in the office and let's make as many calls as we can in a day.
I organized when I was at Oracle. We had a cold calling day.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I won an award for organizing a cold calling day at Oracle. Yeah, we rolled the thing out across Europe. I mean, and it's like, really? I mean, today, come on, it's 2026.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start with maybe the social selling and influence, just the core concepts of when you are coaching or you're training people. I mean, can you just give us a highlight, of what the process looks like and what we're trying to do in that process?
So what we do is that in the training and coaching that we give, we teach in effect 4 things. One is about how to have a personal brand, and that, for a lot of people, they kind of think, well, that's like Mark Schaefer or Brian Solis. I'm never going to achieve that. It's really just about making sure that you look good in the way that buyers want you to look, rather than, hey, I'm a great salesperson and I'm going to stitch you up in some deal, which is what most people basically do on their LinkedIn profile, because that's what they think they have to do. So it's about how to have a personal brand where you're recognized as a someone of influence within your industry, where people actually want to be attracted to you. The second thing is that we teach people how to network. It's actually classic networking, where people used to go, and I keep these by the business cards. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Where you basically used to go and give people business cards. And what we do is we teach people how to do that digitally, rather than sending people a connection request and say, hey, Cups, here's a list of my products and services. It's like, the third thing we do is that we teach people the importance of content. Content's really important. We know that buyers are out there looking for content and they do it for a number of things. They're not interested in brochures because we can get them from your website. We're not, and we know that anything that's generated from a corporate perspective is going to say one thing, which is buy my product because we're great. So we don't read them. So how can we basically inspire people by creating content that's going to stop people scrolling? And it's not, here's me at a sales kickoff, because actually this is how we've just spent all your money. You thought we were spending you thought we were spending it on product development, but actually we were all in Honolulu having a good drink. So there's this, what makes good content. We've actually done a lot of work around that, and we could do a whole episode on what good content actually looks like. And the third thing is actually making having conversations with people online, going up to people that you don't know, like you would do at a networking event, and saying, "Hi, Cups, how you doing? What brings you here?" and that sort of stuff. And we've done a lot of work around, rather than just saying, congrats or awesome or something like that, is actually using context around the post. And actually then, because you'd be surprised if someone's taken time to actually write something and you go with an intelligent comment, they'll come back and go, "Thanks very much," because it's a bit like, it's flattery.
Yeah.
And then you can basically connect to them and say, "Hey, we just had a great conversation, but let's connect." And then using your powers of social, you'll end up you can get a conversation with them.
Yeah.
So why are people cold calling when they're getting such a crap rate, when they could actually be on social every day, having conversations with people, and ultimately getting connecting and having conversations? It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly. And what I like about that, so the strategy isn't necessarily to just connect with them up front. You're not finding a list of people and just trying to connect to all of them. You're actually looking at their content and saying, "Hey, this is somebody in the sector that's talking about things that are important in the sector, whatever it is that you're selling," and you're trying to build. You start building the relationship first before you're even connected.
Yes. So what you're trying to do ultimately is, we're all trying to get a conversation. So how is it that we can go through that process? So you're going to try and talk to them, or what you're going to do is you're going to you may connect to people, but you also may find that I can't get to Cups because Cups is really important. So what I do is I connect. Everybody has a +1, someone of influence. So maybe we're connecting to those people. Yeah. And also what happens is that you'll find that people are connection snobs. So what they'll do is that they'll look at and say, this person's clearly doing I was talking to a CEO the other day, and they said, "I know when people are basically trying to sell to me, and it's because I'm the only person they're connecting to. But if they're connecting to me and they're connected to Steve and Frank and Mark Schaefer and Michael Cups and people who I trust, then I'm more likely to actually trust the connection request. And it's more likely not going to be, here's a list of my products and services."
Yeah, and LinkedIn gives the assist there, because when you see somebody's profile, you say you're connected to Tim in these ways, through these people. So you get the assist from LinkedIn on that bit. So that's interesting. You said we could have a full-time question about or a session about content, but in general, avoiding sales and marketing type speak is one thing. But are you trying to, and this is topical because we hear about GEO all the time, are you trying to put posts out there that get AI indexed for like, when you do searches, or is it just, what's if you just had one strategy on your content strategy, what would that be?
So content is something that has a number of different things. One is you're trying to get a conversation with a person. You're trying to get them to stop and go, "Tim Hughes looks interesting." And next time you put a post, "Tim Hughes is interesting again," or who is this Tim Hughes? Oh, and so at the point where I send a connection request to you, I've already warmed you up. The other thing is that we know that Google and AI love LinkedIn because they know it's full of thought leadership content. I don't like that term, but in terms of it's interesting content. So for you to turn up on LLMs, you need to be creating content for them to index. And therefore you need to be writing in an insightful way, because that's the way that these algorithms aren't stupid.
Yeah. And what do you have a preference, or is it best to do all of it? Video versus text versus carousels versus all the choices marketing people tell us about?
In our research, 60% of people actually don't want to do content.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I don't have time. I have nothing to say. People will laugh at me. So we're in this situation where whenever we've trained and coached people, we will find that 20% of the people will do it, 60% of the people won't, or they do it a bit and then they stop. So it's very important that for most people, text is okay. Most people, if you said do a video, they'll run in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So I think, and a lot of these things that LinkedIn tell you to do are not applicable for the vast majority of people. So 20% of the people will do them, but 60% of the people won't. By the way, 20% of the people won't even turn up. So, it's all very well, but as I said, video for most people, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So I want to get to the tool in a minute. But we, Flor and I, and a few other guests had over the past few weeks have been talking about kind of AI tools that we use or don't use, or that we get handed to us, and it makes me think about the context of marketing too. And there was a question from someone that said, is this a marketing function or a sales function? I think I know your answer, but maybe just talk through that a little bit, because marketing does say here's some ads, here's some carousels, here's some things, right?
Okay, well, nobody looks at ads, so they're wasting the money. We don't come to LinkedIn to look at ads. LinkedIn makes its money from selling your ads, but nobody looks at them. So the thing is that we always scroll past that. When we scroll past, it actually shows you. It actually shows that you have an impression, but basically, scrolling past is anyway. So is this marketing? No, this is modern day prospecting. Just as much as you would phone somebody up, just as much as you would send somebody an email. This is the way that you prospect. Well, you should have been prospecting like this for 10 years, but this is modern day digital prospecting, we'll talk in a bit about how marketing can support this anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into your new tool. You launched a new tool. And it's AI centric, but it's still focused on the core principles of social selling and influence, correct?
Yes. So we've launched a product called Azpertilo.ai.
Yeah.
Good, because it's a made up name, by the way.
I was gonna ask if there was something behind that.
No. There's a long internal story about it. So we've launched it. So we're a completely AI native company. We use Claude to do, well, we use Claude and Gemini, and I'll come on to that in a moment. So it's all built within Claude, and it's an app which is enterprise strength. We got our first customer on it, which is a French agri-tech company, back in January of this year, and we got them live, and the salespeople there were generating 3 meetings a week from social within 6 weeks.
Yeah. Wow.
So to give you some idea what we do, the first thing we do is that we bring in.
Could I ask one question before that? Were they using your methodology before that, or was it completely new? Oh, wow. Okay.
No. They were phoning and getting nowhere. Yeah. And so the first thing that you do is you need to ground the data. So we bring in the definition of your ideal customer profile, your value proposition. It can be your brand guidelines. You can be bringing in your SEO keywords. So, for example, sustainability is one of the keywords that this French agri-tech company wants to be famous for. So, any data that you want from a corporate perspective. The next thing that we do is that we bring in data from each of the different individuals, because what we need to be doing is talking in your tone of voice. Yeah. Because you talk different to me. Yeah. And so what we do is that we bring in data for each of the different people. So what you're able to do is create content really fast. And we did it because of this 60% of the people in the middle that didn't want to do anything at all.
Right.
So what we did was we sat down and we realized that everybody else was basically building tools that were AI focused on how we sell. This is an AI tool based on how we buy. And how do we buy? Well, if you look at the 6th Sense data and the data from Forrester, we buy based on relationship and trust. And we've done that forever. So how is it that we can build relationship and trust and do that at scale, and also show the salespeople's humanity and do that at scale as well. And it's funny, I read articles from Mark Schaefer, and he's going, this is the Holy Grail. This is the Holy Grail. It's like, well, we built it. And so what you're able to do is you bring in all that grounded data, you bring in the data of the individuals, and then they're able to create content, and they're able to do it within minutes, seconds, minutes. The system scores you. If you want to, you can change it. You can basically do voice notes. So you say, I've just come off a podcast with Cups, and he said this, and I'd like to write a blog about this. And the whole thing is designed to be completely friction-free in the way that you work. We also have the ability to create comments. So this is something that I've been playing with over the last couple of weeks. So I can go up to a total stranger, somebody I want to sell to. I can go to that total stranger, and I can basically put a comment on their LinkedIn profile. And they reply. I can connect, as I said earlier on, and then I can basically take that through to some sort of conversation. So again, it's modern day prospecting, and we've made it as simple as possible for people and friction free.
And the comment that you made in that example, it's probably reading the context of their post and then putting it in your voice. Does the user have the ability to edit and change to make it shorter?
Yeah. So you've got the ability to edit anything that you want to, and we've been using it in anger ourselves, as you would expect us to, and it's good fun.
It's interesting. I think I saw a commenting tool like that, and I tested it out, and it was so AI predictable that I didn't go past the trial. And it wasn't your tool, by the way. It wasn't your tool, by the way.
No. And the key thing is that it's got your tone of voice. So you're feeding it with. You can feed it with a n number of pieces of content. Usually we do 3. So usually it's your LinkedIn profile, which will be written in your tone of voice. If you've written any blogs, or maybe it's because you've written the summary of a tender, or you've written some emails or something like that. But it's got your tone of voice. And we're able to do things like for example, I found a really great Brian Solis article the other day, which says this is exactly what people want. One of my team, Helen, basically posted that today. She's then actually shared that. We can take Helen's post and then write that in our own voice. So we're able to take marketing content and share it out onto social in our own voice. So if you take employee advocacy, which was a way of trying to get around this, you're generally only empowering 10 to 15 people, 10 to 15% of the people, because most people know that they don't want to post boring content on their profiles because they know nobody wants to read it. But what you're able to do is actually get all 80% of the organization talking in their own voice, on brand, and with the keywords, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's very powerful.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and and is there is there recommended post quantity? And I mean, because for me, it's always I tend to do, when I think of something I want to talk about, I post it. But is there a structured calendar that says you should post twice a week, or 3 times a week, or every day, or comment every day? Do you have kind of a discipline around that?
Well, it's an interesting question, Cups, because actually it's kind of old thinking, because the way that we always used to work was that we knew that whenever we wanted to write something, it would take us 30 minutes. So immediately what we're thinking in our heads is, I don't have time for this. So even if we've got past that, nobody is interested in what we got to say, and everyone's just going to laugh at me, the next thing is, I don't have time for this. And you're able to actually create content literally in minutes. And we onboarded our accountant, who's one of the most least IT literate people. It was like onboarding my mother, and she's 88, and it was like, just click. It was like, and we got him, and he posted something in 8 minutes.
Wow.
From onboarding. He'd never seen the product before, and it was it was just so you're able to empower people. Now, the one of the things that we learned with I think that everybody learned with SaaS is that people were given a tool and then they didn't use it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we went to a company. There's a company in the UK called Rentokil, which catches rats and wasps' nests and stuff like that. And they bought I won't mention the name. They bought this tool. They'd had this demo, the Immaculate Conception demo, where they said you'll get so many leads. They switched it on and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And we were called in because we know something about LinkedIn, and they said, "Why is that?" I said, "Well, you've not trained anybody." "Oh, do you have to do that?" The company never told us. So we have this technical moat, which is that we've taken, so not only do we have the tool, but we've taken the whole of our training and coaching and we've poured it into a computer-based training system. So everybody can learn at their own speed, and they learn why they need to have a personal brand, why they need to, and how, not just why, but how they have a personal brand, how to write their LinkedIn profile, how to network, how to create great content, how to comment, etc. So not only are they are getting a skill in terms of the AI, but they're also learning as well. And we've not taken the coaching away. Even though they're doing online computer-based training, we're still providing 5 30-minute coaching sessions per individual as well, which we originally thought we'll just automate it, and then we said no, the coaching sessions are the thing that always get the results. Therefore, we're actually leaving them in. So it's something that there's lots of tools, there's lots of training, but nobody's basically doing the two together.
Yeah. Well, and there's something about computer-based training is fantastic to get a mass quantity of stuff done on their own pace, right? But when you talk to them, you actually find the human elements that's holding them back. Maybe is one way to think about it. They have that fear of, I don't want people to laugh at my posts, or and when you do that one-on-one training or that face-to-face training, I should say. It doesn't have to be face-to-face. It can be virtual.
We get questions like you said, should I be doing videos? Like, really? You haven't even you haven't posted in 3 months, so you shouldn't even be thinking about video. Or when should I post? Well, the best time to post is now. Or how many times should I post? Well, actually, it's so easy. You can post every day.
Yeah.
So this is about you building visibility and influence. Or from a marketing side, how do we be measurable, distinctive, and different? And by doing that, you're empowering everybody. And of course, every single LinkedIn profile that you have, which is keyword optimized, which is what you'll get, is another website of your organization on the internet. So if you've got 100 employees, you've then got 101 keyword optimized websites that LLMs are crawling and Google is crawling.
Yeah. What about for smaller companies? Still, I mean, it still magnifies it. But do you see? I know that you've trained 4,000 people at Oracle, but I mean, a company that's just a startup. Are they good prospects?
Well, we're a startup ourselves.
Yeah, true.
And it's funny talking to people, because when I talk, people think that we've got way more people than we have. Yeah. So we're able to really punch above our weight in terms of the way that we market. And remember, we've never spent $1 on cold calling. We've never spent $1 on any events. We've never spent $1 on any email spam. All we do is do social selling, and that's the way that we get and generate business. Because I don't understand how you would cold call a social selling, but clearly your social selling doesn't work if you're cold calling or sending emails.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. One last thing on that tool. How does it? Because sales and marketing measures all kinds of things, customer acquisition costs. All of the. Is our CAC going up and down and stuff like this? How do you tie the metrics from the tool and your system into so marketing feels good about the return on investment?
So we would, at the moment, we have to and always have done is measure things manually.
Okay.
We would ask organizations to basically to create a campaign code for anything that they generate through social, and we would expect most companies now to be generating 25% of their revenue through social. But we're now signed up as a LinkedIn partner.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that basically means that we're saying that we're playing by the rules, no scraping of data or anything like that. And ultimately, what we'll do is that we're going to be able to pull the metrics from LinkedIn back into the tool.
Okay.
That's it's on the roadmap. Cups.
Yeah.
It's not there right now.
Yeah. Well, I saw the announcement that you were a LinkedIn partner. I didn't know the depth of that, but that's
yeah. So you go. They have to kind of learn to trust you, but. It's really a statement of direction that we're not into spamming, we're not into scraping, anything like that. But ultimately, we'll pull all the data back.
Yeah, fantastic. That's amazing. So, I mean, this is the Habit Architect. I want to talk a little bit about habits, about making as an individual. If you can think about just what are the key things, and I know your tool makes it easier, that you have to do to make social selling part of your general motion and successful.
We had I did a demo the other day, and one of the CRO said my sales team are a lazy lot. I want you to send an email to them every day. So I said, right, okay. So it's now on. It's in the product roadmap for September. I mean, it's part of the training and the coaching that we give, which is about this is about, as with anything, James Clear book on habits, and what you've talked about in your Time Bandit book, which is you've got to start thinking about these things and start regularly planning for it. We teach people and coach people about building a personal content plan. And part of that is so every Monday I do a video. So I don't wake up and think, what am I going to do today? I know on Monday I'm going to do a video. And so one of the things that we do is we teach people about that, and that's about turning social into a habit.
Yeah.
And part of the tool is to basically take all of the friction out of it and just make it so simple.
Yeah, exactly. And once it's part of a system, it just becomes automatic. Like you said, a video on Monday or whatever the habit is, it just makes it.
Yeah. So I've been doing this for a couple of years, so I know every Monday I wake up. Oh, what am I going to do for my video? But actually, I would have thought about it. So Thursday's the day we're recording this on a Thursday. So normally on Thursday, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do on a Monday.
Yep, it looks like Flora is either chiming in for a question or she just popped up on the screen here. Anyway, that's great. So I appreciate the comment about habits, because I think it is something that if it's sustainable, I think one thing we're seeing, because we work with AI as well, what we're seeing is that there's this kind of spike in usage of any AI tool that you give your employees, and then it drops dramatically. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of thought about how to, if the tool's the right tool, that may be the first wrong choice. But then secondly, just how is your team training and are rewarded for using it? Like you were talking about, you blend your training with your tool, which I think a lot of AI tools today are not that way. And I can't imagine. I get 10 a day of people telling me it's an AI tool that's going to give me more business. I bet once you do the transaction, that's about it, right? So
yeah. So I've been doing a lot of research, going back into my network and asking people what they're doing with AI. And what seems to be happening is that we've got some people that are building things, bespoke systems themselves in AI.
Yeah.
So they've got maybe salespeople that they're not concentrating on what they should be doing, but they're doing stuff with AI. All that's going to do is create an echo chamber, because you're not bringing in any new thinking at all.
Yeah.
You're not bringing in experts that have sat down and thought about it. That's what applications are all about. You're also building a whole load of technical debt. The second thing is that you've got people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm researching all of my customers in Claude or Gemini." Well, that's table stakes nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to exactly write home about. The third thing is that people are saying, "Oh yeah, we've got AI on our CRM system." Well, yeah. But that's AI washing. That's not exactly, that's not, again. So you've got a natural English dashboard to your old CRM system. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm asking people. I've gone back in my network to conversations I've had to 2023, and I can't find anybody using an AI agent.
Yeah.
Nobody at all. No, they're doing those other things, but nobody's using an AI agent.
Yeah. Yeah, got it. And we talked about the book, but maybe I want to give you. It's on Amazon.
Yeah. So this is my fourth book.
Yep.
And it's on Amazon only, so you can buy it on Amazon across the world. I wrote it at Christmas 2025. It came out at Easter 2026, and it's everything that from my head that we've accumulated over the last 10 years, plus all of the latest research. Plus, there's a whole load of mythbusters in there about.
Oh, nice.
You got 10,000 impressions, and the fact that actually it's completely meaningless. That sort of stuff. And we've also got a chapter in there about AI as well.
Yeah, I read your first book. It's up here somewhere.
10 years ago.
Yeah. And so I need to get the second one, and I certainly will. I'll enjoy the mythbusters, especially because of all
there are always things that come up on presentations that we give, and that we got 10,000 impressions. Okay. Whatever. Did it? Yeah. How's your bank account? Well, we've got nothing in it. Well, there you go. There's a correlation there.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Tim, for talking about this. It's so important, and it's scrolling along the bottom for the book, as well as the website to go engage about the new platform. I think it's exciting, and I'm going to take a look at it as well. I do ask everybody, and it's kind of unfair to ask you because you're talking about AI the whole time, but maybe let's go to a personal side. Is there one thing that in your personal life that you are going to offload to AI?
I did 2 years ago. We decided I did it as an experiment to tell people, because at the time, actually, it was quite revolutionary. So we went to Chile and Easter Island. Nice. And I did the whole of the thing on AI, and everyone was going, "Wow, did you really?" It reminds me of the times when I first started buying from Amazon. Yeah. I was quite an early adopter, and everyone said, "Really? You don't go to a bookshop?" Yeah. Do the books actually turn up? I mean, I remember people saying that, and it was like, you booked I did the whole holiday on AI. So I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, we've built a company on it, but come on, we all use it every day, and it's an amazing tool, and it's an amazing addition to do things that we couldn't do, or we wouldn't have had the time to do.
Yeah. That's exactly where I think of it is. It's freeing up time that we can choose to spend on something else, right? And that's the whole premise of, you can't save time. You choose how you use it, and I would rather use it on things I care about, right? So
yeah. So we run 2 podcasts. One of them, the Digital Download, which is every Friday at 2 p.m. UK time. And the whole of that is now automated the whole of that is automated from a production perspective, because we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, always good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's getting later in the day for you in the UK. Great content and great information, because I think it's so important. And it's also important for the buyers too, because there is so much noise out there, and you can, as a seller, you can stand out by just being credible in who you are, right? As opposed to trying to knock over as many as you can, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. If you did Easter Island last year, where are you going next?
We're going to Vietnam.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's actually the 3rd time I've been to Vietnam, but it's the first time with this friend.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, great to see you again. Thanks, everybody. Do check out Enterprise Diagnostics as well as Time Bandit, and please do like and favorite and forward our podcast to your family, friends, so that we get more viewers on all the time. So thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
We're still live, I think. Flor?
We're still live.
And I apologize, I missed a question. I'll be back in touch with you, Tim. It seems like we're still live. I'll catch.
I'll just close
it off.
Cheers, Cups. Thanks. Bye.